Wonderful. Good morning, everybody, and good morning, everyone in Australia, and good evening to everybody else around the world. And we really appreciate you coming on board. I'm Beata Koropatwa, and I'm in Melbourne, and I'm a Pro 6. And it is my absolute honour and privilege today to introduce a remarkable and a gorgeous lady, Dr. Shaun Weaver McKee. Shaun is a neuroradiologist. She's married to the lovely John Key, who's a gastroenterologist, who I had the pleasure of meeting in the Bahamas. Shaun is also a age boys. She is an extraordinary triathlete and a two-time Ironman runner, and the accolades are wide. But without any further ado, I won't keep going on. I'll let Shaun explain a little bit about her background. And again, I'm honoured to be interviewing you. Welcome to our biohacking series.
Well, thank you, Beata. I'm so honored to be here. I want me to tell my story about how I found out about these products first.
Absolutely. We'd love a little bit more on your background, and also, the reason why you are actually, as a medically trained, highly professional doctor, why you're taking these products, and how you got involved.
That's really, I'm taking these products because they exist, and there's nothing like them. So my story is about 8 years ago, while being an Ironman triathlete, mom of two, they were at the time young boys, and full-time neuroradiologist, and real estate investor and entrepreneur in other areas, I found myself completely exhausted at the end of the day and would literally nod off while my husband was telling me about his day. If I was sitting down and someone was talking to me, after 4 or 5 p.m., I would probably be asleep. It was something that was really new to me, and I didn't like it. And in the morning, my husband would have to come into the bedroom with a cup of coffee, telling me, the boys are going to be late to school. We might want to get up. And I'm like, oh, I just fell asleep. So it was just one of those things. I was like, why am I so exhausted? And I obviously was, burning a lot of candles, or burning them at a lot of ends, but I had been doing that up until this point with no, harmful side effects. And all of a sudden I just was out, of energy. And so my husband sweetly suggested I see this age management doctor. And so I did, and I was low in thyroid and testosterone and vitamin D and magnesium and all the things that probably middle-aged women are low in, many of us anyway. So my doctor put me on 28 pills of natural supplements, in addition to hormone treatment. And I was taking these 28 pills a day, every day for 6 months. Not really expecting to feel them working, but generally I did expect to, after doing this for 6 months, to feel a little bit better. And I did not. And when I went back to see her, I said, I hate taking that many pills. And that's when she told me, she said, well, there's one product that's clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress in humans by an average of 40% in 30 days. And I was like, wow, I want that. Why didn't you tell me about that before? And she just found out about it. So as soon as I found out about it, I got a big box because I saved a little bit of money on shipping. Really, that's the reason I got the big box. I knew I was going to take them forever. I knew I was going to make my husband take them. I knew my dog even had oxidative stress because he was a big dog, a lab. And I think he was 7 at the time. Now he's almost 15. And so I started giving it to Henry, and he started wagging his tail more. I took my husband and looked him in the eyes and said, you will take this. And after a couple of weeks, he started taking it on his own. So something was going on because, normally he doesn't take pills or supplements. So I knew this was an important thing. I knew I had a lot of oxidative stress, and I knew I wanted everyone I cared about to be on it. So that's why I'm taking it.
And Shaun, it's a common story that we hear in our industry, isn't it? About, you know, the lack of energy and the lack of sleep and everything. I would like you to speak to us about the science of the products. You know, being so medically trained and being a specialist, you of all people understand, you know, ingredients and components. And I'd love you just to talk a little bit more about the science behind, you know, NRF2 and NRF1.
Absolutely. And, you know, and that is so true. Lack of energy is the number one people go to the doctor, at least in the United States. No energy. So, or being tired. So, what my doctor said was so intriguing to me. She said, there's one product that's clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress by 40% on average in 30 days in everyone who takes it. Well, that I knew was a huge statement, because, you know, you can take direct antioxidants or vitamins like I was taking, vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium, you know, all these things that have antioxidant abilities, but they really operate on a 1-to-1 ratio or 1-to-1 basis. One antioxidant molecule neutralizes one free radical, and then you know, excrete it out. And if you take large doses of antioxidants, you'll find, if you look at your urine, it's very bright yellow because your body can't utilize it all. That is in comparison to antioxidant enzymes, what we call endogenous antioxidants, the ones that your body makes, and that are in an overabundance in our youth. They neutralize 1 million free radicals over and over again. They're not used up in the equation. They're a catalyst. And they're the reason why if you sprain your ankle at age 6, you're better in a day or two, versus if you sprain your ankle at age 60, you're better in 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, right? So these antioxidant molecules, we can call them the good guys. And when you take the NRF2 synergizer, the good guys are upregulated. It's basically turning on a rheostat, a dimmer switch, so to speak, in signaling to our body. The NRF2 messenger protein is the master regulator of what we call the body's stress response, or the antioxidant response element. And that's an area on our DNA that puts out these good guys. And the body's stress response is basically the NRF2 protein kind of sits in the cytoplasm, or the dead space of the cell, so to speak, sensing stress. And when it detects stress, whether it's working out, whether it's exposure to a lot of pollutants, whether it's eating something that signals your body a little bit, your body will react by turning on the production of these antioxidant enzymes and anti-inflammatory proteins, etc. So it is really it's such a very important pathway and messenger protein that Washington State University actually did a whole meta-analysis of all the literature, retrospective, up until 2015, that looked at this protein. And they described it as the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now that's saying something. I mean, that's with all of the, you know, vaccinating, you know, polio, antibiotics, you know, penicillin, all that, and people after age 20, which is, you know, mostly related to inflammation and oxidative stress.
It's quite extraordinary, and you know, we could talk about the science for the next 2 hours, but we don't have a lot of time. But you know, a lot of our information is there, and all the scientific studies are you know, are available at the drop of a hat. But Shaun, the other thing that I did really want to ask you is, you know, you're a very successful neuroradiologist. Your husband is a gastroenterologist. You know, you've got your highly successful practices, yet you decided to go into the business of, you know, supporting people with Protandim. And, you know, many people would say, why?
It's kind of, well, they say passion pulls. I felt obligated to share this with people that I cared about. You know, it started with just my family. And then when I saw what it did for my family and my dog, I really, you know, I couldn't help myself when somebody complained about something that was going on with their body after you know, years that they didn't have before when they were younger. I felt compelled to say, hey, did you know there's a way you can turn on your body's, you know, healing response the way that it used to be, you know, when you were a child. So it's just asking people if they've ever heard of it was really eye-opening to me, because no one had. And so I realized, here I am, you know, one person, you know, I can shout it from the rooftops, and I wanted to, because it was so remarkable, and what it was doing for people just made me so happy. But I was just one person, and I realized that in order to get this product in the hands of more people who needed it, who didn't know it was around, who were maybe praying for something similar or some solution to some problem that they had, I needed to get more people up on the roofs, you know, shouting the benefits. And so like, what gradually happened is that some of the people that I shared it with decided they wanted to tell others about it as well. And so once that happened, I realized, you know, I've got a network of people that are sharing these products. And that was really great, because people I didn't even know were literally, you know, sitting at home thanking me for having opened my mouth to a friend, you know, who told another friend who told them, you know. So I was like, wow, this is really impressive, because as a neuroradiologist, I can help 25 to 50 people, maybe 100 people a day at the most, if I'm really, you know, starting early and staying late and reading films really quickly. Or, I mean, and, you know, versus helping, I mean, while I'm doing that, I can also help thousands of people with just the fundamental aspects of their health that, you know, gets expanded, and then they start having a better life. And that's really gratifying. I mean, as a neuroradiologist, I just tell you, yes, you have a meningioma on your left frontal lobe, or yes, the reason your right foot is dragging is because you have a herniated disc, you know, that kind of thing. And this is neat, because now I not only get to tell people what's wrong with them, I get to help them, you know, feel amazing.
And that seems to be the common thread with our whole team. We just want to help people with their health and their well-being, and, you know, everybody's passion really shows through. And, you know, in this business, it truly is about, you know, assisting people with their health. And, you know, particularly with, you know, we're able to help people immediately with their, you know, stress or anxiety or lack of sleep, but also, you know, the long term and the prevention is so important. Can I just get your opinion on the, you know, on the prevention side of taking, you know, this unique product?
Well, I mean, we can't say, you know, obviously these products don't treat, cure, mitigate, or prevent any disease, but the bigger we can expand our healthy part of us, the better our body is going to be able to fight off, you know, inflammation, fight off infection, fight off, you know, or recover if there's an injury, recover if there's surgery, recover if there's hard workouts. So it's really your body that can heal and recover, and your body that can prevent problems. And turning on your body's best ability to do that is where the magic comes in, or not magic, but the, you know, it's really, it's just activating what's already there and turning it on to optimal function.
Many people do call it a miracle pill, so I suppose they're you know, it's fitting for the title of it. And I think, Shaun, you know, having medical professionals like yourself that, you know, who are so highly acclaimed and credible, that actually do, you know, stand by it and give us the credibility, it really is a game changer. And, you know, those statements made by Washington State University, you know, they're absolutely valid. So I think we're coming kind of to a close of our interview, and we're going to keep it open. We're not going to record it, but keep it open for Q&A. But I think you probably all have found this extraordinary. Every time I hear about, you know, what we've got in our hands and the unique product, and especially when we get, you know, scientific people or medical people, you know, who have got that credibility, it just reiterates that, you know, we all agree everybody needs to be on this for their health and their well-being. And, you know, and that's our team philosophy, is just to make people